Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pensacola Superspeedway for the third annual Crown Royal, actually, that's NRSL Crown Royal 300, as we gear up for 100 laps of action around the Pensacola Superspeedway. Last year, we saw the pass coming at the white flag. That was Gary Barlow over RJ Reynolds. Barlow would win by about a car length. All the way back in 2016 when that was a summer deal. At the time, the Pizza Hut 300, we saw Teejay, Handley, and Jonathan Zorlin in a dead heat where Handley was given the win in what was a, quote, dead tie. So now, this is my first race recording with my new microphone. It's a separate microphone from my headset, and I'm hoping that the sound quality is really nice for this race. And I'll use this mic going forward. I only really was pushed to buy this microphone because I'm doing a podcast that may or may not happen. We're just waiting for some feedback before we start rolling out episodes. But that is why I was pushed to buy a Yeti microphone. And hopefully I've got the volume and everything set up. I got a pop filter here in front of me. So I'm hoping everything goes good. So anyways, on to the race. Dale Lightning and Jonathan Zorlin are on the front row. Zorlin fittingly finished second in the first event in the back in 2016. He's hoping to maybe get a win here this time around. And now third on back to 32nd are your drivers who advanced from the heat. They requeued, and where they are is where they qualified in the requeue. So row 2 is, if I can find them, good angle here. The 2 of Johnny Gardner and the 51 of Nate Rogers. Row 3 is Jesse Turner and Charles Sanford. Row 4 is your Heat 1 winner, Andrew Rich and Richard Johnson. And in row 5, we've got Kenny Maya and Brandon Morris, as we'll go through the rest of the starting grid. Heat 2 winner Cole Baker starts in 22nd. As it's bound to be a very good race. Teejay Handley there inside line to start off. As here, the last 10 positions are from the LCQ. Those drivers also requalifying. And last year's winner, Gary Barlow, will start in last place. Let's see if he can get the W from starting in 42nd. It is a very long race. We'll go over caution flag history after the command to start the engines is given.
All right, well, the fun doesn't start until we ask our drivers a question. Are you ready? Drivers, will you please start your engine?
As everyone pulls off a pit road easy, hopefully they all make it back to the green flag. And now, let's take a look at caution flag history. In the Pizza Hut 300 back in 2016, we saw 3 caution flags, but 4 different wrecks. First caution came on lap 3. Then we had our second yellow on lap 13, but there was another wreck, a secondary wreck, after taking the yellow on lap 14. So 2 wrecks and 1 caution. And then the final yellow came at lap 67, setting up the finish. Now, as a quick reminder, the past 2 races were on 2 times pit frequency and wear. So this year it's on 1x, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of race we get, because I believe the fuel window will be upwards of 30 laps. Now, in last year's event, we had, fittingly, a first wreck on lap 3 again, and the second wreck came at lap 40. And that is your caution flag history for the Crown Royal 300. So now the question is, who's going to be in the first wreck? Will the first wreck happen on lap 3? Will it happen earlier than lap 3? We're about to find out. They're coming off of turn 4, and we're getting ready to go 100 laps of action here at Pensacola. If you see that little frame skip, don't worry, I'm seeing it too. I think it's just a combination of the track and the mod. We're just gonna suffer through it. Green flag is out, and the third annual NRSL Crown Royal 300 is underway. And they are already 4 wide in the middle of the field. Oh man. As everyone took the green flag, as I've already forgotten most of this field's lineup. A lot of jockeying around into turn 3. Lightning and Zorlin are even so far. Who will lead the first lap? Gardner and Nate Rogers staying in line with the ones leading them. And coming to the start-finish line, leading the first lap in a dead heat, I believe. Oh, I thought it was Lightning, but they're giving it to Zorlin. So possibly another dead heat there. We could likely see a finish like that in this race again if the cards are played correctly. But a dead heat to lead the first lap, and it was given to the 48 of Zorlin, as they are already 4 wide at the front of the field. Richard Johnson, the only driver with unique sponsorship there in that 93 Voiles Trucking Ford Mustang. Johnson was a top contender in the NNSCRA Honeydew Donuts 250K that occurred in January. And you guys know as well as I do that the NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series and NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series begin this weekend, as they are 5 wide back there in the pack in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and I just don't think that this is going to work out. Yeah, they are still 5 wide right here. That's going to be 3 cars in a bundle. They're actually keeping the space pretty good as they'll settle it out back to 4 wide. Oh, 2 cars are going to the grass. They saved it. Who is that there that went to the apron? That was Carter Friesen. Friesen and somebody else made contact in the middle of the corner. They went all the way to the apron into the grass, but Friesen was smart about it. He didn't dart straight back to the racetrack and cause a wreck. He kept his car clean, and the Canadian still has a chance to win this race, but now he needs a caution. And hey, we're on the lap 4, so we made it to lap 4 without a wreck. But they are really dicing things up here. They are 4 wide through most of the pack. It's just a matter of time. The heat races were only 24 cars each, so everyone is not used to seeing 41 other cars around them. It's just a matter of time for the wreck to occur. Teejay Handley is at the lead. And that number 27 Napa Dodge now getting challenged by the 51 of Nate Rogers. He's got the 60 of Larry Hagan to his outside. And the good thing for Carter Friesen right now is he's outside the draft. It's a better opportunity to miss the wreck when it occurs. As now Nate Rogers being challenged by Levi Holman, Quinton Moore, and last year's winner Gary Barlow are going to go 4 wide for the lead. As here comes Alexander Rowe in the 022 Dodge Caterpillar. Throwback machine. 2 Caterpillar cars in this race, the 22 Dodge and the number 8 Chevrolet. As we are 5 of 100 laps complete. And still crazy 4 wide action. It's just a matter of time before the big one occurs. They're almost 5 wide again in certain areas. But the longer this happens, the more danger Carter Friesen will be in going a lap down. But I mean, I think the wreck is just bound to happen sooner or later. These drivers are doing a very good job right now. But it's just a matter of time. And I think I just heard it. I think I just heard it. I heard someone sliding, I think. I don't know. I don't see anything quite yet. Nope, caution is out, and Dylan Young leads him at the line, but they are still 4 wide. Are we going to see a secondary wreck? So far, so good, but they're still 4 wide right here with Saden Davidson and Samet Oskin. Oh, there it is. Johnny Gardner and Saden Davidson made contact. But they kept it together. And we're going to avoid a secondary incident. How about that? But just barely. Oh, and Jonathan Zorlin was involved. Carter Friesen, did he make it through without any damage? It looks like he did. He was 8 seconds back, but it looks like out of the race. Wow, Casey Nanako's car is destroyed. Hunter Braxton in the 3. And, oh, Heat 2 winner Cole Baker is all mashed up. So Coca-Cola and Jack don't mix, and I guess they don't really mix with, Can I even say that? I don't even think I can say that. Well, I guess all 3 of these cars just don't mix. Chevy, Toyota, and Ford. Yeah, that's what I'll go with. Chevy, Toyota, and Ford don't mix. As Young and Rowe lead the field, Ellis in 3rd, Thomas 4th, Smith 5th, and I think we're going to see split strategies here due to 1X wear. And that is the case. Ellison, Thomas, I believe that's Barlow back there, and Lucas Catano are all staying out. It appears everyone else is down pit road. Let's see if anyone else jumps down. Or, I mean, stays out, rather. Nope, that appears to be it. And indeed it is. Everyone else down pit road. Let's see, is anyone taking tires? Enzo Nareza is. And it looks like some drivers are taking 4 and others are taking just fuel. Split strategies on the track. And oh, contact there for Jesse Turner trying to get in his stall. Did he get served? I think he got it. Yeah, he did. Fuel only for the 17. That tends to happen here. Some cars will be coming out of their stall. So no one got pit glitched. So that is good to see. Carter Friesen back in this race. Let's take a look at what brought out the first caution flag of the 3rd annual NRSL Crown Royal 300. All right, so let's take a look here and see what happened to bring out the first accident of the day. It looks like Baker and Braxton were pinching together, and they're going to go right up the track in the Casey Nanako. And I think Nanako gets off the ground there. Braxton's actually flipping alongside Cole Baker, and Zorlin just had nowhere to go and got into this thing. But look at the 3 car riding the wall. Oh, and he is going to barrel roll down the track. Oh, man, hold on for this. Yep, here it comes. Thankfully, no one else is coming, but Braxton... Oh, he actually is going to get lucky here and prevent from going more than 1 flip. But that takes all 3 of those cars out. Oh, yeah, Carter Friesen was coming, too. Man, let's take another look at this quickly in real speed. Let's see how crazy this was. Just right there on entry. Oh, my goodness gracious. That is vicious. And then Braxton luckily gets 1 slow flip, and the car will hold on all 4 wheels, but a tough break. First caution flag of the day. Let's take you back to the restart. All right, we are getting ready to go back racing here at Pensacola. As I'm making sure my mic is not muted because there is a button for that. Okay, we are good. Staying out under that caution was James Ellison, Dylan Thomas, Gary Barlow, and Lucas Catano. We'll see what the fuel window is for sure by these 4 drivers. We're going to be restarting with 90 laps to go. Rest of your top 10 rundown: Alexander Rowe, Teejay Handley, Freddie Soto, Kenny Myatt, Derek Hamill, and Sumit Oskin. Out of the race, unsurprisingly, was Cole Baker, Hunter Braxton, and Casey Nanako. So we will quickly go through the rest of the field here. And I'm just looking for cars with damage at this point, as I believe the only one who possibly repaired anything was Jonathan Zorlin and potentially Colt Hudson, but their cars appear to be in one piece. We'll have to see when this thing goes back green how in piece they really are. But 10 laps down, 90 to go. Fastest lap is a 46.860 by Lucas Catano. But now that these drivers are all strung out, it's going to be a good chance for someone to get a top time. And Dylan Thomas right to the inside of James Ellison for the lead. And there's Ellison to 4th gear. You could see the little lurch. But here comes Barlow and Catano and more. And we'll see how long these drivers take to wreck it up again. There's still so many cars on the track. If we make it to green flag pit stops, we could see this race go green. But Handley's going to make it 4 wide already. Handley made a 3 wide move on the last lap in the Pizza Hut 300, which was the first event in this event's history, and that ultimately won him the race. So maybe practicing for later here on lap 11, as he'll lead the first lap from the restart. Hamel in the lead, Nareza in second. As they are strung out single file at the front of the field. And they are already 4 wide in the pack. How is Carter Friesen faring? Oh, and Jonathan Zorlin is off pace. You can see it on the ticker. So Zorlin was in. Zorlin did get some decent damage from that accident. So Zorlin's chances of winning are over unless the whole field grenades itself. So a tough break for Zorlin, I believe 2nd year in a row, after finishing runner-up back in 2016. And I believe we have had another accident. The field appears to be spread out. And indeed we do here on lap 13. 2nd caution flag of the race. Oh, and it was a huge amount of smoke going into turn 1. James Ellison's involved, one of the drivers who stayed out on the last yellow. Patrick Smith. Oh, his back end is destroyed. Alexander Rowe. Freddie Soto. Teejay Handley are demolished on pit road. And Jonathan Zorlin was in another one. Sumit Oskin with damage. Dylan Thomas. Oh, and Lucas Catano, where somebody just got spun on their yellow. That is fresh smoke right there. Smoke. Okay. But everyone else appears to be good to go. What will the pit strategy be here now after these drivers mostly just pitted 5 laps ago? We have yet to see the big one, so I'm worried we're going to have more yellows in this year's race than in any other previous event. The fact that these drivers don't have to pit as much, well, half as much as they have in the past, definitely means something, as it looks like no one is going to pit. I lost my train of thought. Actually, nope, we do have some pitters. Barlow and Catano, who stayed out on the last one, are pitting on this one. And pitting for damage, the 20 of Dylan Thomas, the 22 of Samet Oskin, and the 022 of Alexander Rowe. What I was going to say was, since these drivers have to pit half as much, they have more time on track in a big pack to wreck it up than they have in the past. So instead of having only 14, 15 laps to go crazy and cause a big wreck, they have about 25 or more. And that definitely is probably going to affect our caution count if we can continue to see accidents occur on the racetrack. So majority of the field stays out, 30 cars in total, or 29 or something like that. Enzo Nareza is the leader. Let's go take a look at what caused the second accident of the race. All right, here we are looking at the second wreck. It's the 22s. We're in the middle. Alexander Rowe and Samet Oskin. And right here going into turn one, they're going to make contact up the track. Into Soto they go. Patrick Smith, Teejay, Handley, nowhere to go. Soto is actually going to get flipped onto his roof. James Ellison also had nowhere to go, as there's Dylan Thomas making contact with him. And man, Soto is just riding along on his roof right now. That's the second car flipped over we've seen today. Braxton was the first. And these guys all slide down the track. You can see Rowe trying to get it back on. And oh, here comes Zorlin. Just slams right into the front end of Handley. And into the outside while he goes. And that's what took Zorlin out of this thing. And here comes Soto. He's going to start flipping. Oh, and he actually does more than one flip versus what we saw Braxton do. And right there, he'll land on his roof once again. Let's take another look at this in full speed with the TV1 camera. Right there. Oh man, he just got propped up on his roof. Oh man, Zorlin really hit him hard too. And then a few flips for Freddie Soto, but a lot of these guys' days are over. And let's take you to the race restart. Getting ready to go back green out of the race, Jonathan Zorlin, Teejay Handley, Freddie Soto, James Ellison, and Patrick Smith. Those last two retiring due to damage, even though their cars were still running. That's a tough break for them. Top 10 rundown. All these drivers did not pit under the yellow. Enzo Nareza, Derek Campbell, Ryan Brommer, Kenny Myatt, Dale Lightning, William Brock, Quinton Moore, Shane Russell, Saden Davidson, and Osmain Hamid. And who has a decent amount of damage? Oh, look at that. The two cars are back to back. That's actually really confusing to look at until you look at the hood. Gary Barlow and Catano pit. They had stayed out on the previous one. Thomas, Oskin, and Rowe continue. We'll have to see how their damaged race cars run, as the green flag is back out. And they did a good job repairing most of these three cars. Or these three cars, I should say. Man, I'm rusty or something here. But it looks like Rowe and Oskin have a decent amount of performance damage. But it looks like Rowe's got the better power. He's not even really in the draft right now, and he's passing the 22. So Oskin with the most damage out of the three electing to continue. Dylan Thomas looks like he's pretty safe. Maybe just some minor fender damage. Carter Friesen still at the back of the pack, as we're still pretty strung out here on this restart, as Nareza will lead the first lap back to the line. We are closing in on being 20% done with this event. Almost 60 miles up to 300 in the book, as Hamil will look to the inside in his Scooby-Doo Ford Mustang with the 37 Chevy Tide Pods driven by Shane Russell right behind them. Here comes Kyle Keith in the 42 Clover Chevrolet. And they are 4 wide for second. Hamil will lead, Quinton Moore in second, and Brandon Morris, someone new to the channel, right there in third. As we are 4 wide again in the pack, that's Maya and Brommer that were at a very bad positioning. When you're 4 wide, you want to try and stay as side by side evenly with the person to your left and right as much as you can to avoid an accident. Right now we are single file at the top 3. And looking pretty good. And oh, never mind. Thomas has fallen away from the pack. As has Alexander Rowe and Samet Oskin. As Hamil will be trained here by Quinton Moore and Brandon Morris. Mostly 2 wide behind them. As Benjamin Ice and RJ Bishop making moves towards the race lead. So all of these drivers, a good majority of these drivers, pit on the lap 8 yellow. Or lap 7 yellow, rather, I should say. So we'll see for sure what the fuel window is if these guys go green long enough here. They're at 13 laps. 14 laps-ish. Which was roughly the max window in the past 2 races. So if they can go clean and green long enough, we'll see green flag pit stops. And likely a decent amount of strategy. However, they could also wreck again. But right now, Quinton Moore in the race lead. With the 18 driven by Levi Holman. Right behind them, Larry Hagan. Third in line on the bottom. Here comes the 012 of Logan York. First time at the front and they're wrecking. And oh my goodness gracious, the 34 catapulted into the air. Right down the back straightaway. That's going to take out some more cars. But Quinton Moore will lead him back to the 3rd yellow of the day. As they are 4 wide back here. That is Kyle Keith and Johnny Gardner. Will they settle it out? It looks like they will. As everyone doing a good job settling down. Oh, never mind. Shane Russell and Dylan Young are making contact. But it looks like they've got this under control. Who was involved in this one? Oh man, it looks like a lot of guys got on the brakes pretty good. Jesse Turner's back end is destroyed, however. And Brandon Morris is still running despite being catapulted into the air. But Derek Hamil with roof damage right down pit road. And he is smoking. So Hamil's day over. And a tough break for the Scooby-Doo Ford Mustang. Who comes down the pit road here on lap 23? I'm going to wait and see who pits before we go take a look at the 3rd yellow flag of the race. As it appears, Quinton Moore will stay out. Larry Hagan, Dale Lightning, Shane Russell coming down pit road. Gary Barlow will pit. Nate Rogers, Ryan Brommer, Saden Davidson, Kenny Myatt, Seth Cole, Jesse Turner, Alexander Rowe, Samet Oskin, and Brandon Morris all heading down pit road. Everyone else will stay on the racetrack. And with that, let's take a look at the 3rd yellow flag of the day. We saw this happen while we were watching the battle for the lead with Moore and Holman. And it's just going to be Morris and Nate Rogers getting together here. Into the outside wall they go. And Hamil just jacks up the 34 into the air. And Turner is going to get involved in this. Turner just kind of slides to the outside wall. Barely makes contact. And then Davidson just has nowhere to go and makes contact with the 17. Morris and Hamil sliding down the track. And then Turner, I guess, made some more contact with the outside wall. We missed it. Yep, here it is. At half speed right there. There's where all the rest of that back end damage comes from. And that's what it wrote. So a tough break for those drivers. Let's take you to the race restart. Getting ready to resume racing here at Pensacola. Hamil, the only one. Hamill, I don't know. The only one to retire from the race. Surprisingly, Brandon Morris, after getting jacked up into the air, will continue. Top 10 rundown. Quinton Moore leads. Levi Holman second. Logan York third. Kev Shearer fourth. Colt Hudson fifth. William Brock sixth. Dylan Young seventh. Kyle Keith eighth. Johnny Gardner ninth. And Andrew Rich is 10th. As the first one down pit road, I believe, was Dylan Thomas? Something like that. But about half of this field did not come down pit road under that yellow. We'll see who is up to speed and who is not. No one has pit glitched yet, which is good to see. But the pace car will dive it on down pit road. We are a quarter of the way through this race. Can they get a green flag run going? 3 yellow flags already. Ties the record from the first event, which was dubbed the Pizza Hut 300. Quinton Moore still leading. As they're 3 wide for second, that's William Brock in the 19, getting pushed by the 42 of Kyle Keith. Oh, and a huge surge to the inside line there off of turn 4 for William Brock. But I think it hurt his momentum as the field is still strung out. We're seeing some 4 wide here at the front, but everyone's still taking time getting back up to speed. As we see who is off pace: Oskin, Nate Rogers, Morris, Jesse Turner with no back bumper. Alexander Rowe, Seth Cole, I think, was just stuck back here. He's passing Saden Davidson. Same goes for Kenny Myatt, Ryan Brommer, and a few others. They are flying right now, though. 229 miles an hour as the pack is before them. Can Kenny Myatt and Seth Cole catch? I don't think they will. They might have some damage, but I'm not certain. It might just be from who restarted in front of one another. It's the 51, and Nate Rogers restarted in last, and he is flying by these guys who have damage. Back up to the front of the field. Fast lap goes to Andrew Rich now at 46,300. As all these strung out restarts have really allowed drivers to get some fast times going. William Brock leading them at the front of the field. Johnny Gardner looking for second from Kyle Keith, even though second gives you nothing. Benjamin Ice is third in line on the bottom with Lucas Catano right behind him. Oh, and we never went over who missed the race, and we'll have to wait on that because we have another yellow flag. 4th yellow flag of the day, and this time it involved Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Enzo Nareza, Levi Holman. They all have damage. That appears to be it. So a small incident. I don't even know how they managed this. But our fourth caution flag of the day is out. And William Brock leads. So while we wait for these drivers to get to pit road, let's take a look at who did not qualify, for the third annual NRSL Crown Royal 300. And those drivers were Peter Onjak, Edwin Mendez, Alex Ferranti, Eli Bright, Nico Tringali, Donovan Cage, Bradley Ream, and Cole Deaver. Those are the only 8 DNQs this time around. We had, I think, like 70 drivers DNQ last year or something crazy like that. But let's see who pits here on lap 30 of 100 as, man, oh man, when are we going to stop wrecking? And I think the answer is when we only have 20 cars up to speed. I don't know what Shane Russell is doing, but it appears he is going to stay out as everyone's coming down pit road. Majority of people staying down pit road. Shane Russell will stay out. Dylan Thomas, Barlow, Lightning, and pretty much everyone who came down on the last yellow. Even those with damage. So, oh man, Jesse Turner, Brandon Morris are going to be right in the middle of the field. That is going to make things intense. Same with Alexander Rowe. He's going to be up there. Oh my goodness gracious. So this next restart will be insane. So let's take a look at what brought out the fourth yellow flag of the day. Well, here we are. It's between Holman and Fitzwater. So the Interstate Batteries car and the Monster Energy Ford will get together right there, and the Reza, the other Monster Energy car, just has nowhere to go. And into the outside wall, the three of them go. Fitzwater's going to get contact there with the back end of his car as Holman and the Reza hit the outside wall again. Mayat is just going to miss this, question mark. Ooh, yes, just barely. One of the 18 continue onward. Fitzwater is just stuck for the ride. Oh no, his teammate Seth Cole's coming in here. Whew, he's going to get lucky there. As do the rest of those drivers. But that is that yellow. Well, let's take you to the race restart. Getting ready to go back racing. And Zachary Fitzwater Sr., the only retiree from that accident. So, man, oh man, unbelievable how cars can just wreck like that. Or these drivers are causing wrecks like this, I should say. Shane Russell's your leader. Dylan Thomas second. Gary Barlow third. Dale Lightning fourth. Larry Hagan fifth. Ryan Brommer sixth. Kenny Mayat is 7th, Seth Cole 8th, Nate Rogers 9th, and Saden Davidson is 10th. Alexander Rowe, Brandon Morris, and Jesse Turner are all damaged, and they split up the field. Kyle Keith 14th, then RJ Bishop, Benjamin Ice, William Brock, and so on. So the big question is going to be, will this prevent us from seeing a fifth yellow flag? Because if they hold up the rest of the field enough, it could allow the first pack to pull away. Let's find out. We are back green. Shane Russell in the lead. And we know Dylan Thomas has some performance damage, as Gary Barlow is already looking to his inside for second place. Let's go back to where 10th place is. There's Brandon Moores. You can see Alexander Rowe, Jesse Turner holding these guys up. I believe Saden Davidson might have some damage himself. Oh, yeah, he does. The hood is popped up on the 21 machine. This is going to make things intense. Everyone's trying to get by the slower cars here. But Kenny Mayat on forward are moving at higher speeds right now. But you can see Dylan Thomas does have some performance damage, but they're trying to pull away from this group right now. Kyle Keith is the highest of them all. He's getting by Brandon Morris here, but he's got to get by Davidson next. As you can see, Hagan, I mean, this pack is small enough that I think The rest of the guys behind them won't have to worry too much. Dale Lightning looking for the lead on Shane Russell. Seth Cole behind Lightning in second in line on the bottom. We haven't seen Seth Cole or Brahmer really at the front of the field today. So this is new, but it looks like most of the field has gotten by, especially Kyle Keith, who's got a big head of steam here as he enters the top 10. As Davidson moved to the outside line, currently holding up Logan York as everyone else begins to dice their way through. Brandon Morris and others. Alexander Rowe there falling backwards. There's Jesse Turner. As you've seen, the Reza Holman with some considerable performance damage. So a tough break for them. The Reza was leading earlier, but no more. His car is destroyed pretty good. You can see all the hood damage on this #1 Monster Energy Chevrolet. So now the question is, will we have another yellow now that the field has been strung out? No, you never know. They can still go 4 wide at the front of the field. It's Lightning and Russell battling this thing out for the lead right now here on lap 37. And Kyle Keith has made it all the way up to 3rd place in such a short amount of time. That's super speedways for you. As everyone is in a string behind this pack, trying to get the best run and move towards the front as quick as they can. Lightning, due to Russell being put 3 wide, will take sole control of the lead as Quentin Moore is moving back towards the front. We still have no idea how long the fuel window is, though I'm still going to say it's about 30 laps. Those that pit under the previous caution should be able to make it to lap 60 or so. And the ones who pit at the one before, I think, are around lap 50, but I could be mistaken. As we've got a decent pack there at the back, keeping their distance. Though they more so just cannot catch this pack. But it's still a pretty good pack right here, right now. No, they're catching. Never mind. These guys are single file. Hudson, Rich, Shearer, Catano, and Johnson are all single file. Johnson, though, on the edge. Morris and Davidson losing the draft. I think Johnson's going to lose the draft, too. He's got no one really pushing him right now. As Catano is just driving away from him, so Johnson has a car that could win. But he's going to need a miracle to catch back up to the draft. As Catano is the last one in line. Still a good amount of cars up here, though. We could see another accident as Dale Lightning continues to lead the field. Carter Friesen up to 2nd place. As there's some 4 wide action there between Shane Russell and Dylan Thomas. So Dylan Thomas, I guess, is good enough to be in the pack, but he's not good enough to lead the pack. As Lightning, Friesen, Ice, single file top 3. Oh, Ice with the move. Oh, here comes Johnny Gardner now looking in the middle. Oh, some contact there with Hagan and Russell. How big is this group? The answer is 24 cars. And there's a 4-car slow group consisting of Holman, Oskin, Turner, and the Reza. And that will be dangerous if these drivers catch them before their pit stops. Benjamin Ice now looking for the lead from Dale Lightning. Is Alexander Rowe going to become a part of that group? So he falls 5 seconds. And the 4-car group behind only falls 2 seconds. Okay, so Alexander Rowe at some point will become a part of that group. We'll have to see if Davidson or Morris is going slow enough to even have that happen to them. See, there's Holman. He's just clinging to this group. They're single file, doing about 214, 215. There's Rowe doing 211. Okay, Morris and Davidson are going faster than those guys, so they won't fall that far back. But Johnson is all by himself now, and without draft, he'll eventually be caught by Davidson and Morris. But their push should allow him to stay in front of them. As we're back at this pack, 24-car group, just as big as the heat races. Will we see another accident? Will anyone be able to avoid it? Kyle Keith, Dale Lightning. Oh, that's not a good 4 wide. Oh, that's 5 wide right there. That's Dale Lightning in a 5 wide. Oh, Osman Hamid is going to be right on the bottom of this 5 wide action. They're still 5 wide. William Brock's in the very bad spot here. He's stuck in the middle. They're going to settle back to 4. No, they're not. They're getting the run. Oh, this is very tight. This is very bad. Oh, man, I don't know how they're pulling off this 5 wide right now. Oh, Lightning thought about... Nope. No. Lightning's in a 5 wide right at the back of the group. Still 5 wide. Shearer coming off the corner there. Almost gets into Andrew Rich. Oh, and York will clear down their 4 wide, but Shearer is still rubbing doors with Lightning. But they're going to keep it together, and that was intense. Man, 5 wide around Pensacola, they kept it together. That's insane. As up at the front, battle for the lead between Dylan Young and Quinton Moore. Young, I believe, was at the front at the end of last year's event. Didn't get the job done. Of course, Dylan Young still winless in the NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series, which begins this Saturday. Pending the fact that this race actually goes up this current week. I'm recording this on the 9th. It should be going up on Wednesday. As I am having qualifying the heats in the LCQ be on Tuesday. So this should be up Wednesday. But after I record this, I've got to format it and then upload it. so much fun. As you can see down here, the race is at 1 hour 3 minutes. My actual recording time is hopefully nowhere close to that. We're only halfway through this event as they're rubbing doors again. We're going to have another wreck. It's not over. It's not over for Richard Johnson. Johnson's at a pretty good distance too. 10 seconds back. 13 seconds back, actually. That's a good distance to be at. Oh, but if these guys catch that slow group before lap 50, lap 60, it's going to get interesting. But I believe this is the longest run we've had all day. We restarted, I think, somewhere around lap 30. And Dylan Young leads them as we're about 20 laps past those last round of pit stops. Maybe almost 30 for some of these guys who stayed out last yellow. We'll have to wait and see who dips to pit road around lap 50, lap 53. I think that's about where they'll start pitting. But we'll see for sure. If this thing goes green right now and they get the pit stops, it will likely go green the rest of the afternoon. I'm just waiting for pit stops before we take a, quote, commercial break. As I'm pretty sure I know all of these guys by name now, so whoop. All right, we can see some more stuff now. William Brock here in the middle. That's Hagan and Russell rubbing doors. Going into turn 1. Oh, and there's more 4 wide going on as they're trying to get to Dylan Young. Young is showing that he's got speed today. Fast lap is still Andrew Rich with the 46.3. We've got total of 35 drivers under the 47 mark. Everyone below that, I think, is out of the race. Yes, indeed. They all have damage. They're out. Just a reminder, if you're just joining us, out of the race, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Derek Hamill, Patrick Smith, James Ellison, Freddie Soto, Teejay Handley, Jonathan Zorlin, Cole Baker, Hunter Braxton, and Casey Nanako. Damaged and off pace, Levi Holman, Samet Oskin, Jesse Turner, Alexander Rowe, Enzo Nareza, Brandon Morris, and Saden Davidson. Richard Johnson lost the draft due to restart, but he is up to speed. Rest of the field is in a 24-car group, which was what our heat sizes were, as they're catching Holman and Oskin, who have actually lost this 3-car group. So it's not going to be as much of a pain as we initially expected, or I initially expected, I guess. But it's Young in the lead, Lightning in second, Rich, Shearer, Catano, and Barlow as the field is starting to settle out. If there's any kind of tire fall off here, it is possibly occurring with the drivers who have been out here for a while. But we're just about at the halfway point, and I'm just waiting for some green flag pit stops so that I can take a break. Which sounds pretty bad, you know, if this is my 3rd time doing this event. Oh man, look at that move by Dylan Young, as everyone else is going to get blocked in here. So Holman and Oskin go straight to the top. That blocks a majority of this pack. As Young leads, here comes Shearer, Seth Cole, Brock, and others. Rounding off of turn 4, no signs of pit stops yet. It looked like some might have been thinking about dipping in. But once we complete lap 50, 150 miles will be down and 150 miles will be left. As they are single file at the front. Oh man, those lap cars really strung out this group. Colt Hudson, Johnny Gardner, Shane Russell, Dale Lightning, Carter Friesen, and Charles Sanford all getting hung up the most here. And potentially going to lose the draft. But I think we've got pit stops coming up, as Young is being challenged for the lead by Kev Shearer. So here we go on lap 50. Any takers? Yep, there goes Dylan Thomas. Dylan Thomas, the only one down pit road. So I believe that is roughly 30 laps from when the last time he pit. Field is now strung out, mostly single file, so we'll probably get through all these pit stops with ease, but it looks like everyone is going to probably have to pit one more time after the stop they're about to make. And if they don't desire tires, the group that pit on the last yellow has a pretty good advantage of about 7 laps right now, where they can go that extra 7 laps to their last pit stop and then take about probably half a can less worth of fuel. But Dylan Young still leads over Shearer now. Here comes Logan York, who's going to make it 3 wide for the lead, as most of the field has been strung out. So Thomas, the only one to pit last time around, as Young is going to go way back, as they're 2 wide at the front between Shearer and York. Make it 3 wide. Here comes Andrew Rich. And there's Dylan Thomas, fresh from his pit stop. Jesse Turner, Rowe, Nareza at the front of the field. Or in front of the field, I should say. They're about to be caught. But Thomas will fall to temporarily 30th place. No signs of takers here in this big group. They are 4 wide at the back of them. Ooh, boy, that's Dylan Young. And Kenny Myatt in there in the wall. Ice saves it. No, he gets clipped by Brock. Oh, and Larry Hagan, Brommer, freezing hard into each other. And that's going to bring out another yellow as Brock collects Young again. And a devastating 5th caution. Racing back, it's Andrew Rich and Logan York. That's going to take out at least, I think, 6 cars. And everyone that was about to go a lap down just got saved, including the 20 of Dylan Thomas. And Hagan has already retired. So that saves all of these damaged cars from going a lap down. They will race on by the pace car. This track is very big and pace speed is very slow. Oh man, Lucas Catano is, I think his motor's done. He's out of fuel. Otherwise, I think he might have been coming to pit road. Benjamin Ice is smoking and on the track. Oh no. Brommer will get the pit road and Ice will just get there before Thomas comes around the bend. But William Brock, Dylan Young are destroyed, but this saves Richard Johnson tremendously. He had fallen 33 seconds behind the leaders. But Oskin and Holman are a lap down, so they will influence this as, oh man, they're avoiding Catano, who's on the apron right now. Where are those lap down cars going? Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh no, Richard Johnson just plowed into Charles Sanford. And Saden Davidson made contact with him. What in the world was he doing? Richard Johnson's day is over. My goodness. And Alexander Rose got heavy damage. I believe the 14 being on the track has caused these drivers to get confused or something because, my goodness gracious. Everyone's down pit road and more cars are now done. Richard Johnson's day is over just like that. Oh my gosh. Lap down cars of Oskin and Holman stay out, and Dylan Thomas, who pit under green, will likely be the leader. So let's go take a look at the caution and then the ensuing chaos in turn 3 under the yellow. As I believe we have now another three or more cars that are going to be done from this race. Oh my gosh. Here we are looking at the accident, and it's just Mayat and Dylan Young make contact. Up the track they go. Ice is barely going to get clipped. Catano's got nowhere to go. Same thing for Ryan Brommer. It looks like Ice has it saved, but then right there, Brock gets a bit of a shot right into the 97. They spin around as well. All looks good right here until more cars come in. Oh man, Larry Hagan destroys the 14, and then Friesen just barely clips Brommer. Into the outside wall goes the 9, and then Friesen comes back up and gets into him as well. But Larry Hagan just clobbers the heck out of the 14. And a ton of smoke in turns 1 and 2. Unbelievable impact right there. Let's watch the impact of the 60 in real time. Let's see how hard this was. Oh, he got clipped there, and oh my goodness. Incredible contact. And then something happened. Oh, there's Dylan Young piling into William Brock again. That took them both officially out of the race. Catano, I think, went to keep going. Oh, and his car just eventually blows up. And then what happened with Richard Johnson? Let's just watch his mile per hour here. We know this happens in turn 3. He's slowing down right here. But what on earth was he doing? See, these guys are going... Yeah, these guys were going abnormally slow because they were trying to get by the 14. So they knew it was up. You see the lap down cars are going high, thankfully. But Richard Johnson, Saden Davidson, Brandon Morris have no idea, and you can see them start to really decline their speed here, but there's just no time. I see that Sanford's going 45 miles an hour because Catano is sitting on part of the racetrack here. And here comes Richard Johnson. He's trying to slow down, but it's too little too late. Boom! Right into the back of the 24, killing Johnson's car, and then Davidson came in and had nowhere to go himself, and he gets heavy front end damage as well. And then I think something else happened behind them. Was there contact back here too? All right, retrying this because NR decided to crash when I hit the play button. So what actually happens here? Oh, Alexander Rowe just hits the 14. The Reza's got nowhere to go. He makes contact. And this just takes the 022 right out of the race. All right, well, let's get you to the race restart. Getting ready to go back racing here in the 3rd annual NRSL Crown Royal 300. Officially out of the race after all that chaos, Larry Hagan, William Brock, Dylan Young, Lucas Catano, Benjamin Ice, Ryan Brommer, Carter Friesen, Alexander Rowe, Saden Davidson, and Richard Johnson, who it looked like had been saved, but a miscue under the yellow, not slowing down in time. And he just pile drived the back of Charles Sanford, who will continue the race because that was all back-end damage for the 24. But my gosh, what a crazy race this one has been. A lot crazier than the ones in the past. Anyway, here's your top 10 rundown. Dylan Thomas leads after staying out because he pit about 10 laps ago. Kyle Keith 2nd, Quinton Moore 3rd, Osman Hamid 4th, then Logan York, Seth Cole, Andrew Rich, RJ Bishop, Nate Rogers, and Gary Barlow. That's the top 10. I think we only have 15 or so cars up the pace that could win this race. Now, the bad thing here for Thomas is he has to pit 10 laps sooner than everybody else by himself again. And that is likely, if this goes green, end his chances altogether, as Holman and Oskin are making things interesting here at the front on the restart, as Kyle Keith is getting a push from Logan York for the race lead, past Dylan Thomas, who, by the way, let's just remember, has some sort of performance or aero damage. And if you have aero damage here, it hinders you a lot. So fall in line in 5th for now, but it looks like Seth Cole will take that from him as well. 3 wide for 2nd place. That's between York, Hamid, and Moore. As it is only a 7-car group at the front of the field right now. As more drivers try and draft their way towards the leaders. Just waiting to see who has damage. It appears to be everyone behind Oskin right now, including Holman, Turner, Sanford, and Reza. And that's it. Sanford, victim of Richard Johnson not hitting the brakes in time for pit road. That takes Sanford out of a shot to win this thing. But there it is. Oskin will be the top dog who has damage. Actually, no, Brandon Morris is still up here. Incredibly enough, his draft partner, Saden Davidson, though, is out of the race. So Morris will likely fall back to Oskin and Turner, and we'll see what kind of pack those drivers create. As there's no one left. We have, I think, going down to Bishop, a total of 17 cars that could potentially win this race. And we only have 22 on the track. Bishop will elect to pass Maya instead of trying to draft up to the field. So that's going to hurt them. But the pack we see before us is a 13-car group. If Thomas falls back enough without the draft here, he could potentially tow Gary Barlow back up. But it doesn't look like that will currently happen. Bishop, Myatt also out of range. This is the man to watch, Dylan Thomas. Yeah, those guys are not going fast enough. So I don't know if they'll catch unless something crazy happens. Oh, we are 4 wide again. Are you guys crazy? Oh, man. Quentin Moore and Kyle Keith are side by side for the lead as we're 4 wide at the front of the group. Or in this pack, I guess. Only for a split moment as we're back to 3 wide. But it's Quentin Moore and Kyle Keith side by side for the race lead. Dale Lightning and Johnny Gardner behind in either lane. Shane Russell will make it 3 wide on Lightning and Gardner. As here comes Andrew Rich. Looking to the inside, that'll make it 4 wide again there in the pack. So we continue to wait to see if Barlow, Bishop, and Myatt will draft back up and make this a 16-car group. As there's only 16 cars that can win this race now. Kyle Keith with the advantage at the start-finish line. And yeah, Barlow and the others are clinging for life right now. As it looks like our damage pack will consist of Turner, Sanford, Nereza. No, wait, Nereza is a lot farther back than those drivers. Oskin and Holman, perhaps? Yeah, you can see those 3 cars are not even close to them, but we are going 4 wide again here with Rich and Shane Russell. But that will turn to a 3 wide scenario here as Lightning on that top line with no help is falling way back. And we're back to 3 wide again. This is helping Gary Barlow catch up. Kenny Myatt, though, has lost the draft of RJ Bishop due to not having anybody behind him. And that has now happened to Bishop on Gary Barlow because he's got no one behind him. But Barlow has caught back up to the pack, so it will be a 14-horse race unless we get another caution. Kyle Keith led at the line barely, but Seth Cole's going to push himself and Quentin Moore clear of the 42, maybe just not quite yet. So let's go over everyone in this pack. We've got Quentin Moore, Seth Cole, Kyle Keith, Colt Hudson, Shane Russell, Nate Rogers, Logan York, Dylan Thomas, Johnny Gardner, Kev Shearer, Dale Lightning, Andrew Rich, Osmain Hamid, and last year's winner, Gary Barlow. Those are the 14 drivers that are currently in very good position to win this race. However, Thomas with lower odds as he will have to pit 10 laps sooner than everyone else if this goes green due to the fact that he pitted by himself under the last green flag run. And he'll need some help to even have a shot because all of these drivers are likely going to pit around 15 to go. And likely take way less fuel than Thomas as we're 4 or 5 wide again. These guys are insane. And we will settle it out to 2-3 wide. Quentin Moore leads the race as his Rick Ware Racing, interestingly enough, with 1 Ford and 2 Chevys entering this event. 53 and the 51 making the race. As Dale Lightning looks to the inside of the 51. We are officially 2/3 of the way complete here in the 3rd annual NRSL Crown Royal 300. We're going to take our first official step aside under green flag conditions, and we'll be back with more action from the Pensacola Superspeedway. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I was just making sure OBS was recording, and it indeed is. As if you saw the message on Discord before this race went live, you'll know that, as you can see down here at the bottom of the screen, this race is not live. Basically, Bandicam elects to do this thing where it says it fails to initialize the codec It mostly happens to me on higher quality tracks. Now, Pensacola is a high quality track. However, usually because I'm using the BR15 mod, it's not an issue, but now because I'm using the 2019 Cup mod, it is an issue. So I made it fine. I went to do my commercial break. As you guys saw, we had that little commercial break, and it didn't want to record again. So I used Bandicam to get the screenshots for the end of the race. I know what happened. I'm not going to say what happened. Well, I know who won. I didn't see really anything. I tried to stay away from my computer as much as possible, just so I can commentate the rest of this thing for you guys. I'm using OBS, so hopefully OBS is good. You might notice a bit of a quality change because the microphone volume adjuster setting is different in OBS than it is in Bandicam. So I hope everything works out smoothly here. I hope everyone can see the whole screen, because I know in the past I've had issues with OBS recording the whole window. But I think I'm in pretty good shape here. So anyways, we're back here at Pensacola with 30 laps to go, and Quentin Moore leads the field. You'll see a delay on the ticker now because of it being in the replay studio. But we've got under 100 miles of racing left to go, and man oh man, what a race it has been. We're still green. Flag racing here. Dale Lightning running in third behind Shane Russell. And Quentin Moore in the lead. I had some food, so if I start burping, that's why. Colt Hudson, Gary Barlow getting hung up there. Same with Johnny Gardner by the one of Enzo Nereza, who is, I believe, the slowest car on the track right now. As we should be closing in on Dylan Thomas making his green flag pit stop. He pit at lap 47, 48, I want to say. Maybe it was past lap 50, actually. My memory is hazy already. But he is likely going to have to pit by himself, but we'll see if that happens or not. As they're approaching another lap down car. This time it's Levi Holman. And everyone's going to slow up for the 18 machine. Who will get to the inside of Holman first? It looks like it's going to be Shane Russell, followed by Thomas, Seth Cole, Nate Rogers, Hudson, and Gardner. There's Hamid. Hamid's going to get there right behind Kev Shearer. Logan York running up behind Kyle Keith. He'll get to the inside behind the 42. As Moore, Lightning, and Rich will be held up by the 18 substantially here. As we're closing in ever so soon on the end of this race and the final round of pit stops. Will pit stops even come? I mean, we haven't seen a full green flag run yet. I mean, we saw how long Thomas went. He went 30 laps. So, I mean, I guess you could say they're definitely coming. But if we were to get a caution flag, that would change the outcome of this race. Everyone would likely pit and be good to go on fuel to the end of this race. As I'm just making sure, yep, audio is being captured here, so we are good on that front. Last thing I would want would be to be talking and nothing being captured. So Colt Hudson continues to lead as the pack has almost reformed. He's got Rich, Lightning, and Moore. Quentin Moore might be losing this draft. It might become a 13-car group. Next time by at the start-finish line will be 25 laps to go. Next cars to catch are the 22, 17, 24, and 34. All of which are still lead lap, I believe. Actually, no, correction, the 22 is not. So now, as you see, because we're in replay studio, all the cars that are out of the race are shown as being a crap load of laps down. But battle for the lead now between Hudson and Shearer. As Lightning and Rich will catch back up, but Quentin Moore, I think, is SOL. Officially now 25 laps to go in the third annual Crown Royal 300 as the 51 just dipped to the apron out of nowhere. Mechanical issues are a thing with the rating spread being used, and it looks like problems for the 51 of Nate Rogers will take him out of a chance at winning this race. He is accelerating, but I'm not sure what is wrong with this car. Now, here's the thing that took out Richard Johnson and many others. It's what the 14 of Lucas Catano was out of fuel. I don't know why they don't just ride around the apron the whole way. But Nate will dive it into pit road early. And that will leave just teammate Quinton Moore with a shot at winning this thing for Rick Ware Racing. As we've got some 4 wide. Oh man, if we get 4 wide, it's crazy. Teammate Shane Russell, Colt Hudson leading the field right now. As there's Charles Sanford, next man up to be put a lap down. As the leaders are closing in ever so soon on those guys. I wish my hands were not so sweaty for no reason. Shane Russell still in the lead. Here comes Johnny Gardner now to the inside. As now I'm paranoid because of Bandicam. I'm trying to make sure everything is getting recorded. I might have to go down on the desktop audio volume just a little bit because I'm seeing that when the cars fly by, the volume is just about equal with my voice, at least on the audio scale. So potentially going to turn that down later. As you can see, it's right about there where it really creeps up to my voice. I might also have to turn my voice audio down some more, as I have no idea what it sounds like right now. But I know right now, I think that if I were to get loud, it would be a little too loud. So 51 down and in out of pit road, or down and out of pit road, I should say. And he'll officially go a lap down here to the field. So a tough break for Nate Rogers takes him out of a chance to win this race. As that'll skinny up the field, Russell, Barlow, Moore, and Keith. So Moore gets saved and catches back up after all, excuse me. And yep, here come all these slow cars. They're going to be catching here soon unless they get the pit stops first. And we might be looking at pit stops here, maybe. We're coming to 21 to go. No sign of drivers having to pit just yet. Definitely closing in on the 20 of Thomas having to come in. And if Thomas can't get someone to come down with him, his chances at winning could be over. But here we go. Shane Russell and everyone else are about to catch 4 slow cars. And this is where things could get very interesting. Kyle Keith going to make a move to the inside of Quinton Moore. You want to be in the right lane of this track when you catch these guys. 20 laps to go, coming to the start-finish line this time around, and I think we've got people pitting because I see drivers holding to the outside. Yep, Kyle Keith is coming in. Kyle Keith will actually pit before Dylan Thomas. How about that? That is interesting. As the leaders will catch the 4-car lap down group. Oskin, the first one to get caught here on the outside line. Shane Russell will lose the lead from these guys as things will get intense. Shearer will be the first one by most of these drivers. We're waiting to see if Dylan Thomas will come in next. Oh, we've definitely got cars slowing up. I see Hamid is definitely looks like he's coming in. Yep, here it is. Pit stops. Osmain Hamid down pit road. Actually, he's the only one pitting, so Dylan Thomas has continued to stay out. As Kev Shearer leads the race. Big split in the pack here. Thomas leading that group. Logan York, Johnny Gardner, and Kev Shearer. The top 3 right now as York is stuck behind the 34 of Morris. Single file pretty much through the rest of these guys as they're still trapped behind the 17 and the 22 as they've just cleared Charles Sanford. Seth Cullen and those other guys, they're way back there. Who's pitting this time by? Nobody. Nobody pits here on lap 82 coming to 83. as Johnny Gardner now leads the field. So they'll pass Brandon Morris. I believe that's it for these front runners, as Shearer is looking for the lead back from Johnny Gardner. Next on the board is once again Enzo Nereza in the 1 car. Three wide for second place. That's Andrew Rich on the inside line as they'll catch Nereza in the middle of 3 and 4. York with the preferred line all the way up top. As no one from this main pack will pit at lap 83. Man, Dylan Thomas is stretching this thing out. Quinton Moore's going to actually pit before he does. So, man, I'm not, maybe because Thomas was the first to go as long as he did, Thomas has a better understanding of what he can make. Maybe he was saving fuel under the last yellow flag. Seth Cole catches back up. Barlow, Russell, Hudson trying to close in as well. So Morris is able to pull away from the other guys he was racing because he has somewhat of a draft ability, as Gardner will pass Logan York for the lead. Who comes to pit road this time by, if anyone? And there's Dylan Thomas. Right on down the pit road goes the 20 machine. On lap 84 coming to 85, no one follows him. Forgot to mention RJ Bishop, Kenny Myatt are up to speed, but out of the draft. You can see Myatt is back here with Kyle Keith, and I don't even think Myatt has come to pit road yet. As the leaders are catching Levi Holman once again. That's Gardner in the lead. And Dale Lightning has an issue. He is stuck at 156 miles an hour here going into turn 3. Second straight mechanical issue for the Camaros. This could be bad news for the Camaro teams, as Lightning, who graced the front row and the pole position at that, will see his race chances end here. We'll see if he retires or if they fix whatever the issue is, but he could potentially be very off pace. Gary Barlow has come to pit road. As Logan York leads the field once again. We're at 15 to go. No more commercial breaks. We're watching this thing out to the end. Who can take the least amount of fuel here? That's the real big question. Alrighty, here we go. Who's pitting this time by? Logan York, Andrew Rich, Dylan Young. No, not Dylan Young. Johnny Gardner. They're all coming in. And that's it. So these three will pit together as a group. That should give them a pretty good chance at regrouping when they come out of pit road. Let's see what the 012 of Logan York does here for a pit stop. Do you need to take tires with 14 laps left? Oh, the team certainly thinks he needs to take right sides. Jesse Turner also on pit road. But that's it. Right sides and gasoline for the 012 Dodge Challenger. Same for Andrew Rich in the 88. And same for Johnny Gardner in the 002. As there's Dale Lightning on pit road. He's taking right sides only as they fix whatever the problem is on his machine. RJ Bishop down pit road. As here comes Seth Cole, Kev Shearer, Shane Russell, Colt Hudson, the last of the leaders. Samet Oskin, who's a lap down or so, he'll come down, but Logan York is the first one out on track right now. But don't look now, Dylan Thomas is in the picture, as is Quinton Moore, Kyle Keith, and Osmain Hamid. They're in a 3-car group right now, and if they play their cards right, they will catch up and have a shot at this win. But Logan York is by himself right now, coming to 13 to go. There's Colt Hudson. He's side by side with Brandon Morris. Oh man, contact is made there. That almost sent the 34 and the 47 into traffic. And that would have probably been our 6th yellow flag on the day. So it does not look like Hudson's got a pretty good chance at this. There's Shane Russell. And there's Kev Shearer. There's Logan York. There's Seth Cole. So Seth Cole coming out first. But will he keep the lead, or does Logan York come up here and take it from him at 12 to go? And the field is strung out, but they're all in decent draft packs. Draft packs and range, so we'll have to see who has the best shot at getting to the front and getting the victory in the 3rd annual NRSL Crown Royal 300, as I don't foresee a caution flag. Remember, I know who won the race, but that's all I know. Seth Cole in the race lead for now. Logan York 2nd, Kev Shearer 3rd, Shane Russell 4th, and then more on the way back. Dylan Thomas, Gardner, last year's winner, Gary Barlow. Will he go 2 in a row? Andrew Rich, Quinton Moore, Osman Hamid, and Kyle Keith all appear to be in range as they're catching Kenny Myatt in the 95 Toyota, who lost the draft a long time ago. As Enzo Nereza's on pit road for his final stop. 2 right side tires, fuel, and done and away. As the Adavdale Lightning is back on track, and from the looks of things, topped out at 190 miles an hour, so Lightning is without 4th gear. So this is something I have not seen in a long time. Lightning has managed to break a gear, and it's the most valuable gear in the car, 4th gear. He'll be stuck at 190. He will be in the way big time, and we'll be lucky if we can finish this race without a caution flag. We're coming right now to 10 laps to go. Shane Russell in the lead, Logan York 2nd, Kev Shearer 3rd, with Seth Cole in 4th behind lap car of Kenny Myatt. But this group's coming. Quinton Moore, Andrew Rich, Osman Hamid, Gardner, Keith, Barlow, and Thomas, who I really didn't think was going to have a shot at this thing. 11th on up. Let's go on board. We haven't gone on board with anybody all day. Oh man, look at that. That is insane. Dale Lightning is just in the way. He'll actually move to the bottom of the track as the rest of the groups will come up here. Hamid making a move for position. Man, that is insane. But let's go on board with Dylan Thomas here, roof camera. We have not done this all day. For those of you who have the 2019 Cup ride, you're probably thinking, this roof camera doesn't look right. Yeah, it's because I know how to make roof cameras. Hit me up if you want one. But this is the roof camera I prefer to use for this mod. I think it's better. There's a bit of a higher vantage point, and it appears to actually be on the roof. So that's just me. But Dylan Thomas right at the back of the school will be hitting 8 laps to go this time by. He is trailing Gary Barlow as they try to keep up with this pack. Seth Cole in the lead at the start-finish line as they're 4 wide here with Hamid, Moore, Myatt, and Gardner. And they're catching RJ Bishop, who is up to speed but about to be a lap down. And looks like Russell and Gardner will elect to split the 23. Gardner with the help from Kyle, Keith, Rich, and others. And they're still side by side after splitting the 23 of Haley. 7 laps to go. 21 more miles. Who is gonna win the event this year? Teejay Handley out of the race. Gary Barlow in this pack. Will we have a 2-time winner in 3 years? They've still got to catch Enzo Nereza. It doesn't look like they're going to catch this 4-car group again. Will they catch the 8 again, though? That's the big question. How far off pace is the 8? 9 seconds. These guys are doing... That's 9 seconds from a best time, so he's 8 seconds off. with what will be 6 to go this time by. They're going to catch the 8 car one more time. And that could wildly implicate this race's finish, as if you can hear the dogs in the background. They are woof woofing. Thankfully not super loud. But Shane Russell in the lead. Logan York on his back bumper. Fastest lap on the race, I think, is going to stick to Andrew Rich with a 46.300. But Logan York's right there in second. Then you've got the 53 of Quinton Moore, the 23 of RJ Bishop, and the 00 of Kev Shearer. A total of 13 drivers running a lap time under a 46.4. 5 to go at the line this time by. It's Russell, York, Thomas, Shearer, and then the lap car of Myatt. As Shearer and York will make a move together for the race lead. Shearer did very well at this racetrack in the Digital Storm Cup Series last year, including 1 win and another top 5 finish. Could Shearer get his second win at this track on this channel in what is a special event race? And how about Logan York coming off his 2019 NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series Championship season? Could he start 2020 with a bang and get the victory here? He's side by side with Shane Russell for the lead right now. Russell doesn't have any close help. Shearer, yes, he's in the line, but he's not right on his bumper. As Barlow's there looking at an opportunity to win this race again. 4 laps to go. And they're going to go 4 wide for second behind. It's down to York and Russell right now. Hamid on the bottom with Rich, and then Kyle Keith on the inside as they'll catch the one of Enzo Nareza here at 4 to go. Coming down the back straightaway. York is going to slow up. Russell will get by with ease. And now Andrew Rich will move to the inside of Logan York. Russell gets on by with a Chevy teammate in the form of lap down car RJ Bishop. Oh, and there's Dale Lightning. He's going to be in the way here at, I think, either this time by 3 to go or next time 2 to go. And Russell's got a pretty good advantage right now. Lap down car behind him. Then Andrew Rich in second. Logan York third, chasing down the 37. Quinton Moore back up the 4th with Kyle Keith in 5th. Thomas, Seth Cole, Gardner, Shearer, Barlow, Hamid. And that's all she wrote for those with a chance to win this race. There's single file as Rich makes a move on Bishop, and York in turn makes it 3 wide on him. Will Logan York get here on the 37 of Shane Russell? They're coming to 2 to go. As they catch Dale Lightning, they'll split him through the middle. No one will be held up by the 8 as Logan York takes the lead at 2 to go. As they're side by side for second place, that's what he's going to want to see. If they keep battling for second, he'll hold on to this lead with ease. Dylan Thomas is the first man up behind them. As I am sitting funny because my back is kind of screaming at me right now. That was the chair, not me. If anyone even heard that. Man, Logan York, though, into turn 3. He's holding a pretty good head of steam. Remember, he's got the second fastest lap time on the day, so maybe performance here is going to keep him out front. We'll find out. They're coming to the white flag. Thomas and Seth Cole trying to work together to get to him. But Johnny Gardner, teammate to the 012, he's trying to prevent that from happening. Here we go into turn 1 for the final time. Dylan Thomas, he's closing up. Does the 20 of Thomas make a move? Remember, he's got some form of aero damage. And Thomas is just riding behind Logan York. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Into turn 3, nobody's making a move there. 3 wide for third. Fresh off his 2019 Truck Series Championship, it's Logan York coming out of turn 4, who will take the checkered flag home in the 3rd annual NRSL Crown Royal 300. second straight single file finish in the event's history. So Dylan Thomas will finish in second, Johnny Gardner third, Kev Shearer fourth, Seth Cole fifth, Shane Russell, Andrew Rich, Quinton Moore, Kyle Keith, and Osmain Hamid round out the top 10. Gary Barlow will finish 11th. And it appears Handley and Nate Rogers, the last two cars on the lead lap. Only 22 cars finishing the race. And that is it for me here at Pensacola Superspeedway. I will see you guys all for the NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series and Digital Storm Cup Series seasons that begin this weekend. Until then, peace out, and I hope you enjoyed today's event.